All right, and we're live. What's up, Blake?
What's up?
What's going on, man? It's been a while. I haven't seen you. When was the last time I saw you?
Was it Berlin Berghain?
It was in Berlin. That's right.
Yeah.
It was in Berlin. Wasn't it? Was Bergheim the last time, or was it that party you played in that chicken shack? That's what I call that place. The place looked like a chicken shack. Remember that?
Party.
I forgot what the name of that club was, but you played live. You had a Hawaiian shirt on, I think, during that whole thing, and you, the inside, you played outdoors. I remember you
Oh,
played,
right,
and then
right,
the
right.
inside
Yeah,
looks like a chicken shack. Like,
that's what's my man name? Oh
oh
my
yeah,
goodness.
that's Woody's place, right? Yeah,
Woody,
yeah,
Heidelberg or something like that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
The chicken shack.
It looks like
It
a chicken
reminds me
shack.
of some kind of boat or something because you're like,
Nah, I mean, I was hanging out inside that place. I was like, this is like a chicken shack, like a gigantic chicken shack,
yeah, yeah.
like a circular chicken shack. But
Right, right,
right, and
right.
then you did something to me that day. You kind of that I actually have done to you before, which is you kind of suddenly out of the blue while you was playing live said, "Here's Abe, and he's going on right
Ah,
now."
yeah. Yeah, because I always wanted to get you back. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but one thing is to do it on the mic, and the other thing is like, here, just make some beats. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you just went in there like, what is it? I was like, man, just fine. You'll find
I was like, oh
you did
man,
your thing. Yeah.
man, yeah, and then I guess that Berghain happened after that. I don't know, I don't remember, but yeah,
Yeah.
but that was like
Yeah, that was
last summer, maybe was that last summer?
yeah, last year.
You
Yeah.
you were staying in Berlin for some time now. You're in Detroit now, right?
Yeah, I'm actually the last 12 years I've been in Los Angeles. I'm currently homeless. I've been homeless for like 5 years, just going from Berlin, Los Angeles, and Detroit. My mom's here. She's, been under the weather, so I came to check in, and I'm looking after taking care of my mom right now.
I hear you, man. I'm taking care of my mom too. She's under the weather herself.
Yeah.
But I'm in New York. Been in New York, forever. I think I'm about to leave though, because this a little crazy over here these days. It's
Really?
well, I mean, it's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in New York,
Yeah, no doubt.
and during this whole thing that we've been going through, this kind of pandemic thing, it's come to light how living around a lot of people is not the best
Right,
idea.
right, right.
So I've been kind of considering, not more than considering, just planning actually my exit. Gonna get out of here. Gonna go somewhere where there's
I always picture you in a secluded cabin anyway,
okay.
chopping your own
well,
wood and
well, yeah, something somewhere in between
solar
that
power.
and being able to get to the city. So I'm thinking of going upstate New York, where it's I could drive down to the city when I need to, if I need to,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I like that type of just outside of the city where you could come and go and get in the craziness and go, I got to get out of here, and you can get out.
yeah, no,
It's always better.
that I wish I had that right now, actually, because it's a little bit daunting being sequestered inside of this city, but all good though. It's all good.
Yeah.
What about you? How you been handling it? Where'd you start out? Did you start out in Detroit during the pandemic?
No, I was in Berlin. First, Los Angeles, then I was in Berlin for like 2 months, uh,
But when the
spending time.
pandemic hit, when they started to do all these shutdowns,
I was in Berlin.
really, and then you
Yeah.
said I'm out or what?
Well, my mom was not feeling well at all,
Right.
and so I was like, I'm gonna stay in Berlin because my daughter's in Berlin, and I was like, well, I could. My youngest actually, so I said I could stay in Berlin, or and then when my mom, she don't call for no reason at all, so I was like, I got to make my way back. And before I even got on the flight or whatever, my daughter and her grandmother said, look, you got to get a mask. You cannot travel without a mask. It's like, we don't get, they were panicking already in February, uh, January, February, that kind of thing. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I actually wasn't ready to come back because I had bookings, and gigs in the
Right.
works,
Right.
everything. It's like, oh, I got to stay. But my mom, I wasn't going to come back, but my mom was the tipping point there. I was like, I got to come back. And so,
Right. Yeah. So I also I was preparing quite early for that, but I I guess in early January I was already wearing a mask in the train in New York.
yeah, yeah, I saw that. I saw. Hold
Maybe I'm a
Yeah,
little neurotic or a little paranoid, but I just kind of felt something coming. People thought I was
yeah,
crazy. But I'm glad
yeah. It's
it
like,
panned out sort of for me that I didn't seem that crazy because after a while I kind of seemed vindicated for it. I mean,
yeah,
not happy
yeah.
about that, but but that was the case. So you were in Berlin, and then you took a flight. Do you remember the date when you took the flight?
Yeah, it was the third of what was that? February, February
February 3rd.
3rd. Yeah, yeah.
And then and when you got to Detroit, was the lockdown in place already?
No, I actually was working on a Trésor tour for South America because at first I had a whole tour for Asia, and that was the tipping point. And January, it all got canceled, and I was like, is it me? I was like, what I do? Nobody liked me or whatever. And my agent was like, no, it's just cancer. I was like, I was getting mad at my agent. I was like, is he not feeling me anymore? What's going on here? And he was like, I can't tell you right now. Because he didn't know what was going on. And then I was like, man. And then I started looking online, and at first I just saw that what is it, Wudon or all that stuff, and I was like, okay, that's weird food they're eating, or I don't know what's going on with that. I didn't put two and two together, and then after everything got canceled, because I've never been to Asia, so I was excited, and when that was canceled, I was devastated. I was like, this is nuts.
Man.
So then all of a sudden, Diana from Trésor said she was working on a South America thing, and the clubs they started contact. So I got excited again, and it was even better. I was like, "Yeah, South America. What was it? It was like Brazil, Santiago, Chile, that kind of thing." I was like, "Cool. I'm okay now." But then that got canceled. And then that's when I said, "Oh," and then my mom calling, and then that's when I this in Berlin, like getting back to the masks, all the masks everywhere I went, all the masks were gone. Like I couldn't find one, so I was like, "This is nuts." So actually, I went to a gym shoe store that was selling bait mask, the designer Japanese mask. So
Hmm.
I had to buy one of them.
Oh yeah, that's what you had to do. I hear that. Right.
Yeah, and that
Because you
was
always
expensive.
about the designer stuff. As
Yeah,
far
but
back
you
as
know
I.
what? I used to really be into the designer stuff, but no more. Not since 10 years. I really chilled on all
I
of that.
remember one day in the '90s, I said, "All right, let's compare what you have on to what I have on, and how much the discrepancy is, and how much it costs."
Right, right,
And
right.
remember,
And my thing was always the stitching and the quality of the cotton, because I'm not into any. I'm really into just natural fibers and stuff. And I was always, it's the stitching, man. It's it's how well it's and the cut.
right, and the Gucci
Cut.
belt buckle.
Uh, yeah, I actually, you know what? through my whole career, I wasted a lot of money on a lot of really dumb items. I will be the first to admit that. I will be the
So,
first.
well, we all do somehow. It's going somewhere, right? I mean,
Yeah.
look behind me, look behind you. I mean, I think that's our first addiction right there, right? All the
Yeah.
gear.
Yeah. Gear.
Man,
Yeah. I,
I've seen you go through so much gear in your life. I've never seen anybody
yeah.
have so much gear in their life as you have. That's
Yeah.
it's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
and it ain't over yet, right?
Yeah. I found a 909 still in the box. I never knew I had. I never knew I had.
Man, that's
And
crazy.
then I was like, okay, so I needed some change. So I sold one for what did I sell that thing for? Like 3500 $3,500, and I think I paid like 600 for it.
Well, it's a
And
good investment, I guess. That's
yeah,
what
yeah,
I always tell people the same. I buy gear because either, if you know how to buy what you're buying and you know how to buy it, you get to actually make a little money and have fun with your investment at the same time. So if you buy gold and it goes up, you can't have fun with the gold while you have it. I guess you could play with
right.
it or throw it around or I don't
Yeah,
know, whatever. But with gear, if you take care of it and play with it, you could do quite a lot with it, make money with it while you have it, and then sell it later. And then even like, did you tell me? Did you autograph it, Blake Baxter's?
yeah, actually, I did. I wasn't gonna do it
How much
because I'm
extra did
not.
you charge for the autograph?
The guy actually asked would I do it. He was Scottish. Flew here during the movement
Oh,
festival,
really?
whatever. Yeah, I sold so much gear. Uh, that was a few years back. I sold a lot. I had what is that? Two. I had two move memory moves. One was fully MIDI.
I
Uh,
remember. I remember that was
yeah.
crazy. Remember that one
Yeah.
time I helped you move a lot of gear from Detroit to New York in that
Yes.
in that
Yeah.
in that U-Haul
Yeah.
was
Yeah. We
full
moved
of
a
gear.
couple
I
of
was
other
that.
things too. I
Yeah.
remember you got mad at me. The
Were
one item.
you mean the
I was like,
Arsenal?
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing with me. I have three storages, uh, one in Detroit and two in Los Angeles. Because motorcycles, I was
Right. I was going to ask you about that. You still riding?
I'm done with riding actually. I um I had a really nasty fall.
I
2000,
I
2000.
remember when
Yeah,
we
yeah,
had
because
place
you
together
were
in
in
Berlin.
Berlin. Yeah, we were sharing the
I
apartment.
came in one day from New York, doo doo doo, opening the door, and then I see a Blake laid out, all like half dead, in
Yeah,
his room. I'm like, dude, you all right? and, and you had just had a pretty big accident, right?
yeah. I was on Vicodin all the way over to Berlin. I didn't want to miss my gigs, and actually, I think I slept for like 3 days. I
I
was
know. I was like, is he all right? Am I
Yeah,
going to
I
have
was
to like?
messed up. I'm still messed up. My shoulder, I seriously was like fractured it almost a break. It
Really?
was my collarbone. I actually broke my wrist, and that thing I had a cast on at first, but going through the what is that? Is that TSA or whatever? They kept going through the machines and scanning me, and I got so tired I just broke the thing and took it off and just used the sling because they were getting on my nerves.
Dude, I remember you slept for like 3 or 4 days straight, and I was worried. I was like, I almost went outside and got a stick to like poke you to see if you're
Yeah,
still alive.
this idiot jumped the carpool lane. And the thing about it is I never wear protective gear. I'll get on a bike in a pair of flip-flops and shorts and everything. But this particular day, I had just bought this full body suit because we were gonna ride to Tijuana, and so I bought this really cool, fashionable suit, of course. fashion, and it was a whole suit looking like a real, like I was a track master. I was a hardcore rider. Anyway, I decided to put this suit on. Never, I would rarely wear like the proper gear, but that day I did, and that day I went down. Yeah,
Well, you lucky. Well, sort of,
yeah,
but
yeah.
at least you had that. You think you would have been in a different condition right now if that
Oh
wouldn't have
yeah,
been
I
the
would have
case?
been. I don't. I think I probably. Uh, yeah. I'd be in pretty bad shape actually. Yeah.
Man, I couldn't believe that you actually came back that way. You flew back
Yeah.
from Detroit
Yeah.
because it
Cause
happened in Detroit, right? Where
no, it happened in
Oh
California.
wow, you flew all the way from California to Berlin. That's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
That's insanity, man. But all right, you're still here. So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about, I know that you're still been touring. I've been kind of retired from touring for a little while, but I know that you still been touring you know and just like a lot of DJs, suddenly you got the rug pulled from under you, right?
You would have. But yes, I had the rug pulled under me right around the time you blew up. Like, dude, you were everywhere
Well, I'm
at
not
one
talking
point.
about that. I'm talking about during the pandemic right now, where all gigs got canceled,
Yeah.
no possibilities to make bookings.
Oh, that hurt. That hurt real bad. That hurt
That's
real.
I know a lot of my friends right now, all my friends that are DJs and touring artists, they're hurting pretty bad right now.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it was basically uh, I have been like trying to do rentals and in some homes in Detroit, and basically with little to no money, go and do fixer uppers and things like that. So basically, I'm living off my savings. All the money I make in tour, it goes into a savings. It goes into well, I'm gonna do this with this money. I'm gonna put this money here. I'm gonna buy some gear, whatever. But it's all everything you get. It's on a budget. But now it's like since that happened, I 2 months off my savings. I don't like that. It's really
Yeah, and you're lucky you had some savings because I'm sure some people got caught out there without being, not prepared. I mean, you're touring constantly, and money's coming in. You're like,
yeah.
yeah, I get gigs, and you know that you got gigs, 3 4 months out in advance already. So like, okay, this month's taken care of, next month's already kind of
Right,
looking
right.
good, and suddenly everything gets cut off, and
Yeah.
now bills are due, and and if you don't have any savings, I'm sure some people live almost day to day with that with their money.
Yeah.
Then I'm sure there's been a lot of hurt going on there. Especially since it's hard to file for unemployment and stuff like that when you're like a
Yeah, that was it the PUA pandemic unemployment assistance thing, and calling on the phone and getting a busy signal. You get in there, they hang up on you, then you apply online and then they stop you because you need a verification code. I've been through that whole thing, the whole thing.
Did you finally get through?
Finally got through.
Oh,
So
good to hear, good to hear. But you're still waiting because most people in
waiting.
New York, they filed 2 months ago and they're still waiting.
Yeah.
They haven't even gotten a call back. And you call all day in New York, call all day, all day, all day, and you don't get anything. You could spend 9 hours a day calling, and you won't get through to anything. It's pretty drastic here. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And the thing, it's like what's next? I mean, this
well, what is
live
next? What do you
streaming and
think?
stuff
I mean,
like
live streaming came out of nowhere now, and everybody's moving with this. Look at us right now, what we're doing. Uh,
right,
I was
man.
lucky. I got started just a little bit before everything started to happen. I started buying cameras and setting things
Yeah,
up. And then this happened, and I wasn't exactly doing it for live streaming. I just wanted to like get a hobby, like like
Yeah,
do some videos or whatever. And then this happened, and well, might as well go with it. But
right.
what's going to happen as far as like parties? What do you think?
I mean, did you see the thing where they did the cars were parked in the club and the DJ was spinning
Right.
in
I saw this. They
Germany?
called it a rave, right? A
Yeah,
drive-in rave,
I
right?
mean that I I'm a club kid from back in the day, and I just can't get into that. And
That's not
it's
cutting it
just
for you. I mean, it's sad because I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying because I feel like that's a good attempt, but it's
right.
not quite there, and it's actually sadder than not even trying to
Yeah,
like.
because you're sitting in your car, you might as well listen to your radio or watch a video. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like just to drive at this location, everyone's parked, and this guy's playing. I don't know. I
there's
guess
that
it's
one
like
guy. I
being
forgot.
there.
I don't know how you pronounce his last name. His first name is Mark, and his last name starts with R. And he does this kind of like microphone, uh, kind of like looping thing where he's really entertaining. I've never actually seen him live because I don't go anywhere. I'm just really at home these last few years. But I've heard that
He
he's
wears
about.
glasses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Ah, that's the man. He
yeah.
is
He
nuts.
he is nuts. But I heard that he's starting a U.S. tour of drive-ins, but doing concerts. But I could imagine that working, where you
Wow.
sit in your car and watch him do his thing on stage in your car because you're not really dancing. Well, people do dance at his parties, so at his gatherings or his whatever he
Yeah.
has. But I could imagine that work. But that was pretty smart to him to like kind of. He was like the first that I've heard of doing that. I guess drive-in
Oh,
theaters are going to come back somehow if that's going to be a trend, right?
yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
So, but what do you think about parties like clubs and festivals and
I mean, if I was just a regular tourist and civilian, and for me to say, well, I'm going to go to a club after this pandemic thing, I would be a little paranoid and hesitant to go to a club. But an outdoor event, I would be more likely willing to do that. I think if I was just someone, a party goer. And I think outdoor events are more appealing. And
sure?
in clubs, I I
Like
think
imagine the Trésor, like that
oh
that dungeon down there, like full of like people without anywhere to move, smoke, and I guess any type
see,
of.
I don't want to get in any trouble making any crazy comments on that. But even when I was playing Trezor, I'm a Globus guy.
Right,
I
the
get in the
upstairs. You
mood where
mean?
I feel like playing hardcore and banging,
Right.
and I love those moods. But I also love the house and people hate this word, but I even like tech house. So,
Hey,
but
it's good,
but
right?
but lately I've just been trying to uh, figure out just doing a set with just no sync and well, kind of sync, but no
No computer.
sequence. Yeah, no computer and limited sequencing, spontaneous patterns on each unit. So, but I don't know.
Is it going to be like a
I
techno thing?
I want to do all my old stuff, new stuff, and a little bit of everything. I never because I'm from back in the day where a DJ or an artist had variety. Everyone's so separate now with oh, I'm techno, I'm minimal techno, like caveman. You house, you over there. You know, I'm late night. I'm deep. Everything's deep. Deep house, deep techno, deep tech house. I mean, really? It's like everyone's getting these categories, and even with bookings it matters. Oh no, we only do techno events, we only book techno DJs. And I get the different rooms and everything, but it's like people in this, I think from that techno, the true techno or the true electronic music is just being watered down because of all these, what would you call them, subgenres or whatever. It waters down everything. Everything's becoming watered down. It, for me, it either is or it ain't. It's not. There's too many gray areas. I don't know how to express that type of thing, but it's just too much. Too many people creating too many things, but they're not. It's not a legitimate actual thing. It's like a trend within a trend within an actual movement. I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm talking.
It's like more separation. I think
Yeah,
it's bringing us apart somehow. There's a lot of
exactly.
polarization. There's a lot of like separation happening in society anyway, with political things and so on. But even in the music, I think that making it about these subgenres and continuing
Right, right. It's too
let
much.
that prevail. I mean that it is what it is. I mean you can't change it,
No, you
but
can't.
to dwell on it, I think keeps us separate. And you're right. I mean, when we started, it was just music somehow, and
Right,
yeah, maybe there was house and there was techno, maybe at one point.
right, right.
That was it.
That's fair. That's a fair deal.
And then
That's
drum and bass came, and we were like, "What?"
right, right. And then from drum and bass, it was what's the trip hop?
Right, things like that started to happen, and then, well, and
Yeah.
so what are your plans now? Are you thinking of taking the kind of setup you have and bringing it on to like a live stream type of situation, or something like that?
Yeah, that's my next step. And actually, this was the first time I ever my first video chat uh, thing. So this is all new to me. And
It's my first one too. No, it's not really. I mean, from this series, it is. I did a couple where people actually interviewed me, but this one I'm like interviewing you. So
yeah, it's new, but I'm kind of excited at the same time. But I'm like, I have to work myself into it. I'm like, I gotta do this. I gotta. Uh, this is kind of weird. I gotta check the angles. You gotta check all these
I know,
things. Just
I
getting
know,
straight to it. So
I know. You
that
really
in
do.
itself is nerve wracking. It's like it makes you nervous.
It is. It is nerve wracking. It does make me nervous but at one point you just gotta jump and you just gotta try something better than nothing. Just sit around like not go. It's like today we just went. I was like, come on, man, Skype in. Let's just do this.
Yeah,
And let's jump. I mean, I'm sure in a year or two we'd be laughing about some of the things we're doing right now, but at least we're in, right. We
yeah,
got to
yeah.
move and do something. So yeah, I mean the technique to get everything together, that's tough. I mean, I've been like a nerd again, which is kind of cool because I've been a nerd. You know me, I've been a nerd all my life.
Oh man, you're a gearhead. You're knowledgeable on everything. I remember when you told me. Remember, I had the what is that? The 404 MS 404 and the 909, and you said, I could show you something, but you're not willing to sit down and listen to what I have to show you. I can show you something. I
I did
know you
not say
don't
that.
know, huh?
I did not say that.
Yes, you did. You said you don't want it, but you won't. I know. And I was like, dude,
What are
tell
you
me.
talking about now?
The 909 and MC 404 Dubfire.
Right.
Dubfire. Remember you showed me about the trigger technique?
Oh, the sequencing, the external instrument sequencing on the
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
right,
You
right.
s- you showed me how to do that, and I was blown away. And from that, I mean, that was such a useful tool for me. But now my 909 is just like in storage on the other side of the country. So, and then I went through what's that TR09. I bought all the boutique
Yeah, I saw
stuff.
you have all that stuff. I want to have some of that stuff. It's so it looks so cool. I mean, it's
It's
like
fun.
miniatures. It's
It's
like collecting
fun.
miniature cars, but more than that because you could actually use them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
And
I
it
don't have any
sounds
of them. I don't have any of them. I want the 808 one.
really. I thought for sure you would have
No,
probably
no,
all of them.
no, I don't. I just I you know, there's a priority list of things you got to buy, and then there's
Yeah,
kids, and then
but you
there's
were the core guy. You were buying a lot of the core gear.
I love me some Korg. That's true,
Yeah.
but truth is, you know, I buy gear now, but you know, there's always this priority list, of course, and I never
Yeah.
got to it. There was always something else on top of the. But I always wanted the '09. I wanted the '08.
Yeah.
I
They're-
wanted the SH01. I guess
Right.
that's that one.
Yeah.
And maybe that's it. Maybe those three.
The SE02, I
Oh,
absolutely love that thing.
yeah, yeah. That
It's
thing is my
it's the
friend Jason. Remember Jason?
yes, yes.
BPMF.
Mhm.
He swears by that thing. That's like
I
the
absolutely
centerpiece of
love
his
that
live
thing.
set. Yeah, that thing's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So what's next? What happens in the next month or two, man? For you?
For me, I need to lose some of this cabin weight, and
I thought was he going to talk about his weight? Then you did.
yeah, yeah, I gotta lose some of the cabin weight. And actually, I started walking a week ago, and I walked yesterday. When I first started walking, man, I was in so much pain. I slept. I'd come right in and sleep. I wouldn't eat. So actually, I did cut a couple of pounds that way. But actually, I lost a few pounds. But yeah, I definitely gained a lot of weight. A lot of weight. But it's
Hmm.
okay. With me, I could. I like working out and I like sweating, so it's no problem. I
Yeah, I
could.
always give you. You know, I always make jokes about that with you because I know
Yeah,
that that
yeah.
bothers you. But so I'm trying to
It
hold
bothers
back.
me. It really
I'm
does.
trying to hold back
And
and not make any
I
jokes right
hate
now.
that. I hate that.
But
Yeah. All it takes is someone's
and
like, dude,
who
you
am I
gotta
to talk? Because I'm not, you know, I'm no stick figure here. I've definitely, I've always been a big guy, but I've had
yeah,
my.
but you hold your weight well. You hold your weight well.
Okay, thanks for that, man. So yeah,
Me?
what about the next? Okay, so you're gonna lose some weight, and then you're going back to Berlin at any time. You're gonna.
Yeah, that's my plan. I wanna actually make sure my mom's okay. Then just go back to Berlin and commute. Just get back on my bookings and work on my status as far as uh, an artist. You know, because there's a lot of artists that have management. They really promote them and they really have a good positive status where they're constantly booked. I gotta kind of find my niche in that kind of thing because I'm doing my own bookings and then I have an agent in Amsterdam and you know it's kind of slow but I still get booked but I think I got to work on that management thing because with me I kind of get what is it I just say, okay, enough. I'm just going to chill out. I don't care a lot of times, which is kind of crazy. Like bookings, like I really don't chase after the popularity in the bookings. Like sometimes I'm like, I don't care. I'm a uh, go for a hike or I'm a chill out for a little bit, and I just budget my money and just chill where you get some people constantly are pushing to that next new thing and that next new level, next new release, and all the digital stuff. And I kind of like,
All the social media stuff.
yeah, I take my time and I don't really push for the likes and push for the popularity, which is, I guess, something I should do. And
How much
I'm
social media stuff are you doing right now?
little to know. I Messenger is the only thing I think I've done this week, and that's today with you.
What about
And
Instagram?
hmm?
What
Oh,
about?
Instagram, that's easier because I could just post a picture, but I haven't posted a picture in about 2 weeks, I think. So
Hmm.
I'm kind of lame on all of that, you
What
know.
about TikTok? Are you on TikTok yet?
Nah, I think I'm a little too old for TikTok.
Hey, don't be fooled. There's a lot of that used to be the case. I think with TikTok. I think TikTok is actually changed quite a lot in the last year. I
Yeah.
think yeah, because it's come. I think it's giving people a new way to consume sort of things, which
But
is
you,
snack type, like snacking on things. Because you have
yeah,
a limit of 1 minute, so you make a video. You whatever you're gonna say, you say it in a minute, or whatever you're gonna do to entertain somebody, you have to do it in that 1 minute, and then you're out. So you have to
right.
be, right on. So it's all about. And so when you're watching TikTok or scrolling through TikTok, you're just being entertained by these kind of snack
Yeah.
size entertainment bits, which you don't get in any other medium.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm really not good with um, being snappy in video and being funny and that kind of thing, I
Yeah, but you
guess.
could probably take some of your tracks or some of your bits or whatever and just cut them up in 1 minute pieces and just put them out, like that. That's actually what works. It gets people. It's different than in Instagram where it's more like, look at me, I'm so fabulous, right?
Right, right, right.
and
And that's the thing I got tired of, like on uh uh Facebook. What happened was everybody would just spam me with everything. Oh, this is my new release. I'm doing this.
yeah,
Would you do vocals? Would you do this? And this handshake deal online kind of thing. And that was too much. And then when I did look at stuff, it was mostly promotion. And then the other side was all these things that I didn't want to see, things that are not positive, and then political things and things that aren't true, things that aren't real, a lot of false things and things I don't agree with. And the minute you don't agree with something on Facebook, then you set
I
yourself up
know.
for a
Like
fight.
Instagram is about how fabulous, Facebook is how politically engaging you can be and how what
Yeah,
stance you take.
yeah.
TikTok, it's just about snack size entertainment bits, which is I actually can you tell that I kind of like TikTok right now, even though I haven't been
Yeah,
posting
yeah,
yet.
I'm actually curious now. I mean, my daughter is big on TikTok, so I do know about it, and I have checked out a lot of the stuff, and it's pretty hilarious actually. But
It actually is really funny, and that's the thing. As opposed to like Instagram, where you take yourself so seriously, and it's like,
yeah,
look how cool. In TikTok, there's a kind of self-deprecating sort of approach to it, where you make kind of
right,
fun of yourself in there, and it's
yeah,
fine. And that they don't want celebrities on there. It's a different culture. It's kind of cool.
yeah. I could see that. I could see that.
What
Yeah.
about YouTube? You streaming or putting stuff up
I
on
have a
YouTube?
channel, but I kind of backed off of it because it's like I said, it's hard for me to really get into the video and the whole kind of thing. I like it, but I got to work myself into it and really get a feel for it, and then a lot of things I kind of second guess myself on, and then I go, just forget it, and.
Yeah, I know because I'm laughing because I've been there exactly.
Yeah, and I I mean I think it's cool and I'm into it, but I just can't, look in the camera. Hi, this is Blake Baxter, and it just don't work with me,
And actually, I
And
was
I
like,
would like to show you, like, basically, this is some. I can't do it, but you're good at that. You're real good at that, and you're real engaging because, like, when you explain how, when you do a review on gear or you explain something, you're really good at that.
well,
And
thanks, but you know,
I wish I had that skill. I
I think
don't.
you
I
do
don't
have
have.
that skill. I think you're just a little shy. That's all. I've noticed that since the day I met you. You're very shy, but you could turn it on and suddenly, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then
I
shut it back off again.
I
And
hate
then
to
you're the
admit
guy in the
that.
corner with the hat down, and no, with
Yeah,
nobody, don't nobody talk to me.
right.
Where did I meet you? I met you in Munich, right? For we played at
Yeah,
for Upstart
yeah, yeah.
during the mid
You.
'90s, I think, at Ultrashaw.
I came in from the airport, right? And then I was really tired because I think I was doing some remodeling or whatever at a house, and I came in. I was really tired, and I asked the driver, I'm like, "Why are we driving so long?" And then he was like, "Oh, just a minute." And I was like, "Well, where are we going?" Next thing you know, he comes to the train station, and you come out, and you had a beard. You remember that?
No,
You had a
I
beard.
I really
Yeah, you had a beard.
okay. I mean,
Uh,
I have one now.
no, you had a. It was a little thicker,
Okay.
and you get in and you sit behind me in the back because
Hmm.
I was sitting there because I had no idea the guy was gonna pick someone else up, which is not a problem. But I was just tired and I was quiet, and then all of a sudden you hit the back seat. Remember that?
Hmm.
You hit the back of the seat, and I was like, what the hell is this guy doing?" He's like, "Man, you Detroit guys," and you just I was like, what the hell is this guy's problem? And then you were talking, I was like, dude, why a Turkish dude trying to talk like he from New York? You don't remember that?
Mm-mm.
And you said, I'm not Turkish. A lot of people say that. I'm from New York. And I was like, wow, whatever. And
Yeah.
you picked a fight with me. You really picked a fight with me. But you was just fucking with me, I know. Excuse my language.
Yeah. Well, I could bleep you out if
You
you
were
want.
just messing with me, but I always enjoy people who are in, who are who are like you, who like to take that initiative and wake people up and
Yeah, that was it. That was like in what 95, 94, something like that. Must
yeah,
have been.
94. I would say 94,
And it
90
was was it Ultrashall? Or
ultra
was it
shot.
Ultra World? Because they was I think it was before Ultrashall. Then they had that Ultra World rave.
That was the kitchen with the tile kind of thing place,
All right,
right?
yeah, right. No, well, they had another kind of before that. This is in Munich. These parties that Dorle and Upstart were making, and a few other
Right.
people, which I don't want to leave out right now. But there was these
Well,
legendary parties, and then they became a club. They made a club called Ultraschall,
yeah,
and
it was before that.
which was probably to this day one of my more favorite famous clubs that I've ever been to or had the
Oh yeah, you
luxury
were the
of playing
man.
in.
You were the man. They used to have the ambient room, man. You used to bang the techno. You had
Yeah,
your own
I
room.
was kind of in there for a little while. Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, it was great. It was time of my life. I would say
yeah,
that, and then I guess on the other side, at that time I was also playing in at Limelight and doing all the stuff in New York and the clubs in New York and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and then you moved to New York for a little while, and then some craziness happened.
yeah, yeah. It was always a dream of mine to go to New York, and once I got there, it was like too much. It was too much for me, I guess. And then also at the time I was going through a relationship type situation. And then, I mean, my whole thing for moving, period, I always wanted to kind of move to a comfortable creative level where I can um, move up or move where I could probably reach a bigger audience. And so always moved around different places and tried different things. But New
So
York was
Berlin, New York, L.A.,
L.A.
Detroit.
Yeah,
So
and
those are the main four that you've lived in, right?
yeah, those are the
So
main.
out of those four, which is your number one place to be?
I love L.A. I shouldn't say that, but I'm sorry, Detroit. I mean, I was born, grew up like a lot of people move here and say they from Detroit, or a lot of people never even been here and say they from Detroit or whatever. But I was born here, and if you never caught a bus, if you didn't go to Detroit public school system, if you didn't come up through that 8 miles, you're not from Detroit. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. You're not from Detroit. You could come here, live here 10 years. Yeah, you're a Detroit resident. But actually, if you're like making techno, and I'm gonna get in a lot of trouble here, but come on. Yeah, it's
So
it's it's a difference growing up in Detroit.
so what was it about what is it about LA that makes you feel like that's your number one spot?
Because where I live, it's like trails, and then I love the ocean, and I love uh, Pacific Coast Highway, riding on, take my bike out, and it's always sunny, the beaches, and I love the restaurants and the food, and you can just go to different places. It's so scenic, and it clears your head, but it also makes you lazy too, because you see all this beautiful, turns you into this kind of slug. But I love LA. I love
I
I
remember
like
visiting
this.
you out there, and I must say your lifestyle was pretty sweet.
Yeah,
And
I love it
and
out there.
and the weather, you just can't beat that weather. I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just
I
like
mean,
it's a beautiful day every day.
coming from Detroit, it's definitely a big difference. And it's funny because a lot of people that are actually living in LA, I met so many Detroiters out there. Actually, when I moved to Los Angeles, I moved with two other guys from Detroit. So it's like a Detroit relocation
I
program.
remember.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
But I don't know. I stopped really enjoying Detroit when things kind of changed. But now, since I'm back in Detroit, I enjoy more coming back and spending a little time and then going back. I enjoy Detroit more because it's a different city now. It's improving. I would say that, and you see a lot of change, which is good.
So,
Uh,
could you say that maybe you'll stay?
uh, just to my mom sort it out. Then I think actually, if when I'm old and gray, I want to be in a house looking at a beachfront property, looking at the ocean,
Okay. Well, don't we all?
and sunny,
But I think
sunny weather.
Berlin is got your number. That's the thing. I've every you've
Now,
been to New York. You've been trying to do Detroit. Of course, you come from Detroit. You did, but L.A. or whatever. But
now
Berlin
Berlin
has
is
got
different.
you by the ankle. It just can't. It doesn't let you go. There's a
Berlin
ball.
is my adopted home because I love Berlin too. It's like when I land in Berlin, I don't know. I feel at home there, and I know the terrain. I can get around, and there's Tony, my daughter. There's Denise. There's Gayla. There's Dimitri. It's like a family.
How's your German?
Hmm?
How's your German?
Yeah.
Do you speak German at this point? Because I know that I've been to Berlin and stayed there for a very long time and
When
all around Germany, but my German is not very good at all.
no.
Sad to say,
Need
because
and I get in the mode where I will be there for a minute and I'll try and people go, "Oh, very good," and that kind of puts me in a shell after they say that, and then they
I
say,
know they
"Do more, do more." I'm like, "Oh, come on, no," you
yeah,
know?
and they actually make it too easy for you to just speak English.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
because it's
exactly.
just very easy to do that. There's no like it's not like when you go to Italy or somewhere
Yeah,
other than like Germany, where everybody pretty much speaks great English
yeah,
and does it with you without a problem. Like some other countries you go to, even if they may speak English, they might not want to even try because
yeah.
what I mean.
And I have a bunch of programs on my phone, on my laptop, how to speak German and German classes and everything. And I'll do it. I'll get really into it, but then I'll buy a new piece of gear, and I'm like, forget this. I'm gonna learn this gear. I'm gonna have to put the German on hold for a little while. I gotta learn this SEO2 or something else, you know.
So, have you been making music lately?
I've been making a ton of music, and I'm really excited about how I've been trying to get a work program kind of thing because like when you have your laptop or your computer, you have your software, and then like Logic or Pro Tools or Ableton, whatever you use. And then you get your workflow going and everything. With me, I was trying to get a workflow going with I could have hardware, and then record to a hard disk and then put it into with software. So I'm really into that. So I've been really coming up with a lot of really cool patterns. And then I just go USB right into Logic or something. And then there's so much there in the mixes. And then you can put more stuff on top of that. So yeah, I really, and now I'm where I got too much information now and
You got too many tracks?
too many
You need to
tracks.
start releasing some of them, man.
Yeah, and that's the next thing. I was like, oh, okay, I could do some digital stuff and what this and that, and that's the other thing
Yeah,
now.
it's a hard thing to kind of deal with these days because we come from another era where we
Yeah,
used to
and
get
here,
paid to do that.
yeah, and here's the thing about that is basically distributors, online distribution, people don't promote. You got to not only you got to give your track to a distributor, right? Then the distributor's just gonna hold on to your track. He's not gonna do nothing with it. You got to promote and do the footwork. Okay, and if you can't do that, you got to pay somebody to do it, right? You got to go through a management or pay someone else to do online, and then you got to kind of trust that. I hate just trusting that, I want to see numbers. I want to see something real. And then they give you this crazy feedback, or you go, huh? Is this real? You know,
Mm.
all these stats and everything, it's like hard for me to trust. I'm used to actually getting 200 copies, 200 units of vinyl, and then actually taking them to the store or putting them in the post, shipping them, and then getting that money and receiving it in the bank. And you're like, yeah, this was real. This unit is
Right.
gone,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
And
different time now, isn't it?
yeah, and then you got to trust the dis- distributor. And here's the thing, the online distributor is because like I put some tracks on Bandcamp and I gave some stuff to the distributor. Distributor gets back to me, well, we only sold 10 copies, 10 downloads or whatever. You like, what? Man, and you look at your Bandcamp, it's off the hook. It's like, are you serious? You're telling me you didn't sign, but my Bandcamp is really kicking ass. So it's kind of crazy. It's like you can trust the numbers or you can't, and it's like what's really hot or how well your tracks are really doing. And then you have your online networks. Like some people have more bandwidth, or I don't know what you would call it, more likes or more people that you
Right.
can
So a fan base
yeah,
that they can
yeah,
promote
all
to.
that
Yeah.
funnel stuff, and yeah, they can really get you in more places. So you want to go with a label or a company like that, and then you don't get any feedback from them. So it's discouraging. It's like I could just might as well do it myself, or I could work with somebody. You got to pick and choose. And what is it? We were saying this like almost 10 years ago that you don't release music to make money. You just release music to for promotion to tour. Because
Yeah.
before, dude, I would get an advance, right? And then from the advance, there's record sales and then there's promotion, and it's all paid by the company. And then once they recoup everything, then you get more money. That used to happen a lot in the 90s.
I know.
So
I remember. It was a
that,
different. It was. There's nothing to do with this time. This is another time
yeah, then there
altogether.
was the publishing deal. An advance, they would trust you enough to give you an advance.
I
And
know
hey, guess
advances
what?
are a rare thing these days, especially
Yeah,
of the like that we used to be. Any small record, like any EP for any small independent would give you at least 500 euros, or
right.
maybe it used to be maybe Deutschmarks at that time,
Yeah, yeah,
or dollars or whatever, or even
yeah,
more. Depending
yeah.
on the label, you could imagine, getting an.
Right.
They would give you, even if you were signed to a label, they would even give you an advance for studio, for going and
Right,
recording.
right,
So you
right.
would be
And that
like,
was my
"Excuse
thing.
me, I'm about to do an album. Can I have some money to go to the studio?" And they would
Exactly.
throw $5,000 at you or something like that to just to just get
Hey,
some gear.
try per diem. Food. I used to get food. I used when I was on Logic, they would fly me to Frankfurt, put me in the Snap studio, the Bomb studio, and feed me like a prince of techno every day.
You
I
said it, Prince of
love that.
Techno.
I
I wasn't
love
gonna bring that up, but you brought that Prince of Techno thing up. Now, are you still the Prince of Techno?
I'm the artist formerly known as the Prince of Techno. I never, I never, okay, now for the record, I did not sit down and say, what am I going to call myself? The Prince of Techno. Hey, I like that. No, I don't know. I would have to be a pretty arrogant guy I never, when I first heard that, I was on my way to a live performance with Inner City and everything. And I saw on the flyer, it said the Black Prince of Techno. I was like, what the hell? I was like, what are you saying? I'm darker than Prince? Duh. But what was this Black Prince of Techno? My music is dark. I don't get that. And then people were like, what's up, Prince of Techno? I was like, are you kidding me? I said, don't call me that. But I got used to it. It's like people and everybody's, dude, we just saying, man, you the Prince of Techno. And I was like, is it because I used to have a like sexual lyrics or whatever or content in my music, and or I don't know. I used to wear crazy outfits back in the day because I came from an alternative background like punk and uh, new wave and all that kind of stuff. I came up on Joy Division, Front 242, Depeche Mode, New Order, and then I went into like acid house and that kind of thing. So it all came full circle. But then when I went into like performing, I wanted to do like Visage kind of look, do something crazy, and I was going through these crazy phases and stuff, and the Prince of Techno thing kind of. My manager Cliff Thomas came up with that from Byright. He called me that, and I didn't like it from day one, but then they were like, "Oh, dude!" Like even like the other day, I was just walking. The guy was like, "Hey, Prince of Techno." I was like, "Ah, okay." All right. Is he
It doesn't.
taking a
I
piss?
remember it used to get you kind of mad, but I guess it doesn't make you
Yeah,
that mad anymore.
I never liked it. But then when people, guys said, well, it looks good on a flyer and stuff, I was like, oh man. I was like, okay, whatever. If it's positive, it's okay. And I'm like, whatever. So I kind of uh, use it as a reference point to in a bio or something like that. But it's just something that stuck. It's not something that I invented or came up with.
All right, man. So I guess we've been on here for about an hour, so I guess we could kind of wrap this up. Any last thoughts you want to give out to the people, to your public, to your lovers, to your fans?
No, just stay healthy, stay safe, and don't believe the hype.
Okay. All right, man. Take care of
All right.
yourself, man. I'm
Good
gonna
talking to you.
talk to you soon, man.
Peace.